been playing a lot of FIFA Ultimate Team single-player draft, and I just wanted to explain why I'm enjoying this mode so much. And it really brought me back into playing FIFA after having sort of taken a break for a while, and maybe why you might enjoy playing it as well. I was playing the traditional FIFA Ultimate Team, in which you build a squad of players up, go and play matches, win more coins to buy better players. This is my current squad, very German based. They've got chemistry ratings and how well they play with each other based on country, club and league that they play in. So we can see there I've got full chemistry all the way through. But I can also see that my players are sort of not the absolute highest end players. They're rated from 85 through 92. And this took me quite some time to amass, and it's not a particularly good squad when you look around at a lot of other players. The problem with that mode for mine is that you play against other all-star squads, so you're never playing against a real team. So you've got these squads here of Reindeer Canada and Metal WG, and there are other all-star squads like your own with varying ratings and chemistry. And you play them in sort of a weekly tournament. You get up to like 32 games, I think. If you play all the matches, you've got a 12-hour or possibly a 24-hour slot to play 4 matches, and then you reset, you play different players. And it's very much a mode that's to get you coming back daily, to engage you on it, sort of a games as service idea. You can buy new packs to get chances at better players. You can buy those packs with real money if you want to shortcut your way to getting better players. But the way I've done it, probably 120 games played, that's my squad. I'm happy with them, I enjoy playing them, but it's going to take quite a long time to make any meaningful increases to get better players than those. And I got sick of trying to put in that time. It felt like a grind and I wasn't enjoying it. So I started playing single player draft, and the idea of this mode, and I'll do it as I explain it, is you enter with some coins, and this will break first time because of course it does, and we come back immediately and it works. But the point of this is to make decisions on drafting a team. And I'll interrupt myself again and explain this bit. The difficulty makes no difference to your rewards, which is really... It feels like a mistake. It feels like an error that there's no better rewards for me trying to play this mode on a higher difficulty. Everything else tends to scale the rewards based on the difficulty. This doesn't, and I think that's a huge oversight. So you get choices, interesting choices between 5 different options all the way through. So to begin with, you've got to pick a formation, and it's not all the formations that are available. It's a selection at random. And it means that you try different things out. I've played formations I would never have touched previously, and sometimes I realise why I don't like them because they're too defensive, and other times it's given me an appreciation for wing play or packed midfield or things that I wouldn't otherwise have tried. So that's the very first step. You play in a different style. So look, that would be an incredibly attacking one with only 3 centre backs there. This would be packed midfield. I tend to go, now that I've played this a little bit, for things with left wingers or left forwards and right wingers and right forwards, because that's where the absolute top end players tend to be, but sometimes it's good to try something different. I'm going to try the 4-3-3. I've played with that, I'm comfortable, and we'll see how I go. And then after this, you pick one player from 5 options all the way through your squad, but they're from really high-end players. So there we go. To begin with, we get a Gary Lineker. Now, I could never have afforded a Lineker in the way that I play normal Ultimate Team, but here, with the click of a button, I have Gary Lineker, and I get to play as him in all the idiosyncratic moves. He's got different animations. They've got obviously modelled him, stuff I just would not see in the way that I play FIFA Ultimate Team without some serious grinding. So, the challenge now is to link them with players of the same club, country, or other icons like that. So I've got a choice here on my right wing, really between the 2 standout players, Bale and Sterling. I really like playing with pace, so both of them would be really good. Obviously, Sterling, you can do a little preview, would link in well with England, so that's what I'm going to go with in this case. You justify all sorts of reasons for picking players. I like great haircuts. I like players that I like in real life. I've not taken players that I don't like in real life that were clearly a better choice. So this is a bad batch of players. I probably won't end up with any of these in my actual team. So I guess I'm down to hairstyle. That's quite striking, but I think he's trying too hard, and I think you sort of get to win me over just by being an obviously crazy hairstyle. That mustache really has me going. I like that. The expression there may also be worth taking, but I think that mustache is just too hard to pass up. So Gerso, whoever you are from Major League Soccer, you've got a spot in my starting team next to Lineker and Sterling to begin with. Let's try the central midfielders. We have 3 of these to fill out, so we can be a little bit flexible. Once again, we're in the low 80s, which completely goes against my point of there being much better players. Strootman is just fun to say. Like I said, I don't think I'll end up with any of these players, but in case I do, I really should link up with the England player. But he's really boring. I'll stick with him to begin with, and hope that later on in the substitutes there's another good central midfielder. What do we got going in here? Some 85s and 86s. Now we're getting further away from that England link I was trying to make. I do like Thiago as the do-it-all midfielder, and I especially like him because he's good in the air and can win a lot of those long keeper kickouts, and that's quite important. Rakitic is the better player here, but then I'm starting to move into needing a Barcelona sort of Spain kind of squad, which I guess is still possible with that winger spot open for Messi. Depends on how lucky I think I'm feeling there. So a safer bet. Let's go Rakitic. We'll have a creative midfielder in there and see who we can link him with. The last of the central midfield slots. Once again, really low players for this mode. It's not winning you over with the idea of getting crazy good players for nothing. Again, nobody really standing out as somebody that I'd want to play as, and as far as linkages go, if any of the Spanish players, the Spanish league players, make some sense here. I'll stick there for now, very much hoping that that's a temporary measure. Let's have a look at the right back spot. The good thing is you get to make lots of interesting decisions really quickly. So here's a player that's clearly better than all the others in here. Not worried about linkages too much yet, and that England link may even work if I get a better central midfielder. But you're very quickly making decisions that impact you in the 4 games that you've got to play. So once again, 2 standout players. I like Sandro as a player, so I think I'll go with him. And he's the best rated player there anyway. At centre back, we're going to get some high rated players ducking in here. Ramos, clearly the best player in this lot, the best rated player. No obvious link to pick him. In fact, the better link player would be Chiellini, of course, in there to have that Juve link. And with only a small difference in their overall ranking, maybe I will go with the Italian link in there, figuring I'll keep both of those. The other centre back is, again, not very inspiring at all. Hopefully the substitutes turn this around. No obvious links there with a couple of Bundesliga players. Possibly that English Premier League link. But not players I'm super inspired by. And the goalkeeper is, well, I'm looking Spanish there. Spanish player in Portugal again, not great opportunities to link with Italian players, so we'll pick him as the best player for now, but really crossing my fingers for these substitutes to completely turn this around. So an Italian keeper is the obvious upgrade there. Throw him in to there and see the chemistry rocket up immediately, so that definitely helps out. So an upgraded Ramos from the one I didn't take before. Checking for Italians, but 81 Italian is just definitely not going to be any better than a centre back of Ramos's quality. We'll get him and throw him in and see what happens. So 83 to 92, a bit of a drop in chemistry, but hopefully we can fix that with some central midfielders, maybe that slot into that Spanish league. Rightio, so interesting choices. The centre back from Spain is in there, but not worth replacing. Right back is better than Kimmich. Yeah, nothing really there standing out as an obvious choice. No synergies at all for Brazil or France, so let's take him as the best available player and see if any of the coming central midfield glut of amazing players will help. Still waiting for that glut of amazing central midfield players then. Is there no reason to take any of these? Possibly Sigurdsson to replace Lallana in there. Yeah, that will do for now, but it's very much a for now, not too many spots left to make vast improvements. Very middling midfielders again. Rafinha would sort of link in with Rakitic, but then you're playing a central attacking midfielder in a central midfielder role, but it at least gives me something different from Sigurdsson or Lallana. It's quite disappointing, I must say. It's been a terrible draft. And then of course getting somebody amazing like Cruyff, who I have to take, but I'm going to have to work out where to fit him in. He may end up needing to play a left wing, maybe push Lineker to a wing to make room for Cruyff. Let's see how that works once I've got a complete squad. It is amazing to play as Cruyff and to have all that close control that you normally just wouldn't have. Neymar as a central attacking midfielder is a very strange choice, and then Best to put in their right wing to replace Sterling. There'll be some fiddling around with this after we get the full squad, I think, to try and make this work. Maybe drop an attacker down into central midfield. Wow, well there's a natural left winger to go in here as well, at Del Piero, so the subs are starting to earn their keep. Let's start putting this together to see what I might need. So the straight replacements have a all icon front line, and then Cruyff as a midfielder, possibly even more central. Maybe getting Rafinha into the middle, Cruyff getting a better link there. Still not amazing in midfield, especially playing Cruyff out of position. His chemistry is at 3, which is not great. No other Dutchman around him. But it's still very nice to have 4 icons in the squad already. Although they did come late in that. So now what choices do we hear? See, Mbappe's not even going to get a shot in just because we're loaded at right wing. And then the others aren't great. So French League left back again doesn't help. So Mbappe is the best player. I'll take him, but I don't think I've got any chance of using him anyway. Alrighty, a couple of slots left. This is, you always get one silver lot, so we're into hair again. And look, the comb back is very strong there, and going to be hard to top by anybody else. So a good harsh comb back wins that one. 2 spots left. A couple of choices in midfield, I guess now. That's your Premier League midfielder. Double checking it's not actually going to fit with any other Premier League players. There's nobody Dutch, unfortunately, to give Cruyff a friend. Godin at centre back. Well, I've got the Italian connection happening there, so as much as I like him as a player, that's not going to work. Got too many left wings already, so we'll try and see that central midfield spot would get a link on that left hand side with the 2 Juve players. That just might be the more sensible option here. Maybe a little bit more defensive minded too, seeing I've got 3 very strong attackers. So the idea is dropping him in to this left hand spot, link with the 2 Juve players, although strangely there's no link from centre back to centre midfield, which is a little difficult to understand. Oh well, let's get this last slot done and see where we're at. So not particularly helpful at all. That's the other Hazard, which I'm sure he hates being referred to as, but I'm really down to hair here. I hope that's just lighting that's got him with a lot brighter on that side of his head than the other, and really poor lighting on Zivkovic is not letting me assess his hair at all. Really weak hair game in this one. That's just a lot of oil in that, which I'm never a fan of. Wow, and I'm down to look, probably the strength of the facial hair there with the weird lighting gets him the nod, but pretty poor hair showing in general. Let's have a mess around with this, because 91 chemistry is not great. I'm not too sure I'm happy with that as it stands. So if Cruyff goes to his preferred position, he's up to 10 immediately in his chemistry, and it is an upgrade from Lineker, but crazy not to be able to play Lineker anywhere. So who would be a midfielder to throw in there? I'm sort of taking big drops in numbers. So that's a Barcelona connection in there, but yeah, what a waste to have Lineker not able to play. And maybe the solution is to play an incredibly attacking style, run them all out of stamina, so Lineker comes on and gets the second half maybe. But that's the mode. It's a lot of selecting based on unknown information about what's coming up, and that makes it interesting. You lock yourself in based on early selections to then later on maybe regret not having taken something that would have had better synergy and chemistry. But I've got a bunch of players I would never otherwise have got to play with. I get 4 games with this squad, assuming that I win each one, and I advise you play on the difficulty that you're comfortable with and are quite clear on winning, because like I said, the rewards are the same no matter what difficulty. And you'll play against real teams, and they'll go up in difficulty as well. So you'll start with some second division or lower league and lower nation teams, and by the second last and last game you'll have more recognisable opposition, and then it's quite fun to see how that squad that you've maybe in a very short period of time grown to like or dislike, or at least know its idiosyncrasies and work out a little bit, to take against a good club team and see how your little tweaks throughout those 4 games have gone. But it's a more instantly rewarding kind of a mode, I guess. You can get through the 4 games in about an hour. The draft takes about 15 minutes if you take your time like this. So in less than an hour and a half anyway, you've gone through basically the whole thing, from not having a squad, picking a squad, tweaking it, messing around with it, playing a couple of easy games to get a feel for it, and then 2 more difficult sort of meaningful games at the end. and if you win all of those, you get a couple of gold packs. One's a jumbo, usually with 26 players in it. Use that to fund your next 15,000 coin entry, and off you go again. It's a rewarding short loop that, for mine, has really reinvigorated my enjoyment of the game. I hope you give it a go, and I'll